What's up guys, my name is Ace, and we just got a bunch of details regarding the Battlefield Battle Royale, which is now 100% officially confirmed, not just teased or anything. Yesterday, the developers actually outlined a bunch of the details of Battle Royale and an upcoming community playtest, but that is with Battlefield Labs, so it is something you have to sign up for, and then even then, it's invite only, so there's no guarantees you get in. And I wanted to share all the details that we learned today, as well as share my thoughts as we go. And let's start this off with the map. They said it's going to be an epic map, and it features a diverse array of tactical points of interest, each with distinct layouts and themes that offer unique gameplay opportunities. Really, that's all just kind of fluff. It's like, of course, that's what a Battle Royale map is, so until we actually see it for ourselves, that doesn't really mean a whole lot. There have been some leaks in the past regarding that. I don't want to share any of the leaked images or anything, but in the teaser at the reveal, we did get a look here. It is set in California. This has been leaked for quite some time, so this is the general vibe we're going to be getting from that. And I'm definitely curious to see like how big this map is relative to other Battle Royales on the market, and what the general structure and layout ends up playing like. Next, they talked about vehicles a little bit. They said players can find common transport vehicles around the map and even unlock powerful armored vehicles to turn the tide of battle. They said the intent is to offer more ways for players to traverse the map early on in a match and create interesting combined arms action in the process. So once again, nothing really surprising with this statement. Of course, there's going to be vehicles in a Battlefield Battle Royale. Then they talked about destruction a little bit. They said destruction will be everywhere in this mode, from creating pathways through walls to toppling buildings. We look forward to seeing players' ingenuity with destruction and how they use it to defeat their opponents. And this sounds great. This is something I'm really interested in seeing, because for a lot of Battle Royales, there's really not all that much destruction. Whereas in this, it looks like you'll be able to take out entire buildings. And I'm curious to see if there's going to be any sort of like levolution elements here. Like, is there going to be a very large building, like a skyscraper perhaps, that could be leveled? If so, I think that would be really cool, as long as the server and everything can handle that. Then when it comes to squad play, they said for this test, referring to the upcoming Battlefield Labs test, each match will feature 100 players, so it'll be 25 squads of 4, and they'll be fighting to the last man standing. They said communicating with your squad through pings, text, or VoIP aims to boost the experience and enhance their tactical options. So it looks like they're going to be having a more robust ping wheel than what we saw in the beta build of Battlefield 6. Also, they're at least testing 100 players. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the exact player count we'll see at launch, but it's something they're currently testing with. And it looks like quads will likely be the primary focus, and that makes sense when you factor in the squad play of Battlefield. I just hope there are, of course, other options like solos or duos, for instance. They also talked about second chances in this, and they said between support classes revives and mobile redeploy options, there are multiple tools to keep your squad in the fight, and I'm happy to hear that, although not surprised at all. That is kind of like a core part of modern Battle Royales, is having the ability to bring back squad members if they get killed. Back in the earlier days of Battle Royales, that wasn't really a thing, and while many purists prefer that style, when we're talking about playing in a squad, it's a social environment. There's really nothing more frustrating than having 3 out of your 4 squad members survive when you first drop in, and they get some really good loot, but that 4th guy's dead, and now he's just stuck spectating his teammates for the next like 20 to 25 minutes when he's there to be playing a video game. So I do appreciate the fact that there are going to be some second chances. Obviously, we'll have to wait to see how everything is balanced when it comes to that, but glad to see that there. Now, after that, something very interesting and unique with their Battle Royale is it's going to have the deadliest ring in BR. What they mean by this is it will instantly kill players when it touches them, rather than what basically every Battle Royale I'm aware of on the market does, which is the ring will hurt you and definitely encourage you to get into the safe space, but you've got time to make that happen, and sometimes you can even make a play by purposely going into the gas or whatever the deadly ring is, and they don't want that in this Battle Royale. That's why they're saying it will kill you instantly. However, they also said there are urgent warnings that will pop up as it approaches, and they also confirmed it will be fire, like Firestorm was, their first take on BR. So it's not like it's just gonna out of nowhere instantly kill you. It will be warning you that it's coming, but the moment it touches you, you are dead. And I am very interested to see how this dynamic ends up playing out. Honestly, I'm slightly skeptical of this. It does sound like that could lead to a lot of unnecessary frustration, to have like no forgiveness at all with that. But at the same time, I've never played a Battle Royale that does this, and perhaps it'll be something that's actually quite positive for the game. So keeping an open mind when it comes to that. At least it's something very unique about this Battle Royale. But then after that, they talked about classes, training, and traits. And interestingly, you choose the class that you bring into the battle. And from the sounds of it, it's the same classes that we see in multiplayer. So we have Assault, Recon, Support, and Engineer. And it does appear it's going to be a fully open choice, so you could stack your entire squad going all support, for instance, or all recon, or you could go for a more balanced approach and try to give each person a different role with a different class. But with this, they said players will start the match with 2 default gadgets from their chosen class, and during each match, players will level up by earning XP through a variety of methods, such as defeating opposing players, and you get a bonus if you finish off a squad, or completing missions. And they also said be on the lookout for intel cases. Finding these is crucial as it will provide XP to the whole squad. So it looks like this will be just like in multiplayer, where at the beginning of the match you start at 0, and as you get XP throughout the match, you gain more of the perks or traits of your class, and you kind of build yourself up as time goes on. And they gave one example here for Battle Royale with Assault. One of those traits you can level up to is the ability to equip armor plates faster. And I actually quite like that. One of the things I do like about Battle Royales is when you have mechanics in place that encourage people to be active and reward them for that by making them more powerful over time. Now, obviously, this can happen with just the core gameplay loop, like getting kills opens up more opportunities to loot bodies, and looting bodies means you're likely to get better loot compared to somebody that just sits in one house the entire game. And I'm sure elements like that will still exist, but this is something on top of that. And I think that is good to encourage and reward people to get in the action, get in the fight, if they choose. If you don't want to, that's fine. You're just not going to be earning these traits as quickly as the people that are taking risks and getting out there. Now with this, of course, they definitely have to be very careful with how they balance the classes with each other, because otherwise metas will clearly emerge and everybody's going to end up going with the same class that just happens to be the best all around. But they did mention in Battlefield Labs when testing this, they'll be watching how players use the classes to build the most effective squads and how their unique traits contribute throughout each game. So for example, just how critical is the support class's supply crate for maintaining ammo, or how effective are the engineer's abilities when using or fighting against vehicles. So it seems like they are well aware of this, and they're definitely going to be keeping a close eye on balancing with the classes. Next, they talk a bit about the weapons and the gear and how to get this throughout a match. And they said here, throughout each match, players will explore the map, complete missions, and battle for loot to define their arsenal, and there are 5 tiers of weapons to loot, along with attachments, throwables, gadgets, strike packages like airstrikes for instance, armor upgrade kits, and custom drops of favorited weapons. And they say these items can be found across the experience through general loot crates, class-specific crates, unlocking armored trucks, mission rewards, or looting defeated enemies. So a few things to unpack there. The first thing is they say there's 5 tiers of weapons to loot along with attachments. I don't know if that means that the attachments are already on the guns, and as you get higher tier, you get more attachments, or if they mean attachments are looted separately from the weapons. I'm leaning more toward them meaning the former rather than the latter. I don't think we'll be looting individual attachments, but I could be wrong on that. But there's also going to be strike packages, which is quite interesting and not really out of the ordinary for somebody that plays Warzone, for instance. You can get like airstrikes in Warzone. They also mentioned armor upgrade kits, which a lot of battle royales go that route where you can upgrade your armor over time and it gets better and better as you find better and better armor. Whereas others, like Warzone for instance, go the route of just consistency, where your armor is exactly the same and instead you just have to loot your armor plates. And I do think there's pros and cons that go with each of those styles. On one hand, you have consistency. On the other hand, you have more incentive to be looting for items to find better armor because that's going to give you a big leg up in a gunfight. And then finally with the section, they did mention there will be custom drops of favorited weapons. So it does appear there's going to be a method of getting your weapon builds in the game, kind of like loadout drops in Warzone. Although in this case, it's not going to be a full loadout from the sounds of it. It's just going to be that weapon attachment combo that you favorited. And I am very curious to see the exact paths that are available to earn your custom weapons and how easy it's going to be to get that custom gun versus having to rely on looted weapons in the game. In either case, let's have a look at missions. They said missions will have squads try to complete objectives that offer extra rewards to gain a competitive edge over their opponents. The tasks will range from unlocking high-value caches to planting explosives to eliminate mission-critical targets. Mission details will outline the available rewards like a weapon cache, vehicle key, or mobile redeploy unit, leaving it up to each squad to decide if the risk is worth a potential reward. And once the mission objective is complete, rewards are airdropped in, so squads should stay alert for others who may attempt to steal them. So missions are going to be their take on contracts from Warzone, for instance. They did confirm there that vehicle keys will be earned through missions, so this is how you're going to be getting armored vehicles, for instance. And also, they talked about mobile redeploy units, which are going to be a method of bringing back dead teammates. It's also quite interesting that you don't just get the reward immediately for completing it. You have to actually call it in and have it airdropped in, which I suspect could lead to a lot of frustration if you work hard, complete a mission, and you earn the thing, only to have somebody sweep in and steal that from you. That could be pretty frustrating, but I mean, it'll keep you on your toes when you're calling that in, that's for sure. And of course, that opens up various opportunities. You could potentially use those as bait as well. So this may actually introduce some very interesting dynamics to the gameplay. And that's pretty much it as far as the details they've revealed here. When it comes to my thoughts on this BR, as much as I've really burnt out on Battle Royales over the years, and I'm just generally not so interested in that genre anymore, I'm definitely excited to check this Battle Royale out. I feel like we haven't seen a really good AAA Battle Royale game launched in a while that can truly compete with the juggernauts that have sort of taken over the scene, like Warzone and Fortnite and PUBG, for instance. And I think Battlefield really has the potential here to mix things up in the scene and potentially take over one of those top spots. Assuming they handle things well, I could honestly see this Battle Royale dethroning Warzone for that style of a Battle Royale game. Simply because Warzone, I think, has largely run its course for a lot of people. They're just kind of bored of it, and no matter what kind of content they bring or what they introduce in the game, people are just kind of over it, and therefore I think they're looking for something truly new and fresh, and it looks like Battlefield's going to be providing that. So as long as they don't screw this up, I really think there's a lot of opportunity here. I also want to address the fact that for a lot of like really hardcore, dedicated Battlefield fans, I know that having a Battle Royale is quite controversial. Many people just don't want to see a Battle Royale. They don't want to see any attention or resources drawn away from the main game. And I totally understand where they're coming from with that as well. This is something I experienced as a Call of Duty player that's primarily interested in the multiplayer side of things. And then Warzone came into the equation, and it definitely feels like there are times where Warzone is getting all the love and multiplayer is sort of being neglected. So I think it is a valid concern that many people are bringing up. But at the end of the day, there's really not much point complaining about it. Battle Royale is obviously coming for this game, and I am very interested in checking it out and seeing how a brand new AAA Battle Royale plays. Regardless of how good it is, I don't really see myself sticking with it long term, but I'm definitely curious to at least check it out and see how things go. Now, of course, these are just my thoughts, and this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. First off, how are you feeling about the fact that there is going to be a free-to-play Battle Royale coming? And second, how are you feeling about the details of this? Do you guys like the sounds of how they're handling many elements, like that insta-kill ring, for instance? Or maybe not so much? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.